Welcome to Boys and Girls Clubs of America's Continuous Quality Improvement Toolkit, the first step on your quest for quality. Continuous Quality Improvement, or CQI, sounds pretty complicated. So your partners at Quality built this toolkit to make sure you have everything you need. And that little pun is our promise to you that this will even be fun. Let's start with why. Research shows that what young people do after school matters. Children and teens who spend time in high-quality after-school programs with supportive adults, they do better. CQI is how we achieve that high-quality level in our programs, so youth can build the skills they need to be successful. CQI matters because our work matters to young people. We expect our club members to learn and grow, and we must do the same. That means improving ourselves as individuals, as teams, and as organizations. Because when we do better, club youth do better. CQI isn't a quick fix. It's an ongoing process. CQI is about fostering a culture of learning rooted in the belief that we can always do better. So where do we get started? First, you'll want to prepare. Use the diagnostic tool in this toolkit to evaluate where you are. Identify the team members on your CQI team. Consider timelines. And once you've prepared, it's time to dive into the CQI process. CQI has 3 phases: assess, plan, and improve. Phase 1 is assess. This is where you'll gather the data that helps paint a picture of your club. You'll use the data from various sources to assess quality practices, attendance and participation, youth outcomes, and the club experiences. Let's start with quality practices. Research shows that certain practices contribute to quality after-school programs. Quality practices data tells you how well your club incorporates such practices. You'll receive this type of data when you complete the youth program's quality assessment in this toolkit. Attendance and participation is exactly what it sounds like. This data comes from tracking club attendance, program participation, and demographic information. Youth outcomes data shows how your youth are doing in the 3 priority outcome areas: academic success, good character and citizenship, and healthy lifestyles. If your club participates in the National Youth Outcomes Initiative, or NYOI, you'll receive this data in your My Data reports. For a more complete view, you may also want to collect academic information from schools, additional social-emotional learning measures, and pre- and post-tests from the targeted programs you run. Club experiences data tells you how your young people feel about their experiences at the club. If your club participates in NYOI, you'll have club experience data from the annual youth survey. If you conduct pulse checks, which is our term for just-in-time surveys, polls, and listening sessions, use that data here too. Drawing from a variety of data sources gives you a more complete picture, and that helps you make more informed decisions as we move into phase 2. Plan. In this phase, you and your team will analyze the data to identify your club's strengths as well as potential areas for growth. You will work as an entire club to develop an improvement plan based on this analysis. A plan to build on your strengths and address growth areas. Once you've created an improvement plan, it's time for phase 3, improve. Put that plan into action. Identify the trainings and resources your staff need. Be sure to track your progress, coach your staff, and celebrate. CQI is a continuous process, but before you start the cycle again, take some time to reflect. Think critically about the cycle you just completed. Decide what to adopt, what to adapt, and what to discard before you start again. Now you know how the process works. Maybe you're still not sure how CQI makes a difference. Consider just one club. Staff and leadership looked at their club experience and attendance data. Some youth said that they did not feel included and welcome in all programs at the club, and some who had been frequent attendees were no longer coming to the club as often. As a whole club team, they created an improvement plan to build young people's sense of belonging and keep them coming back. Staff would be more intentional about welcoming youth into program spaces. They would develop more engaging program content in interest-based groups. To ensure consistency throughout the club, welcome strategies and techniques were shared at the beginning of every staff meeting. Youth were involved in developing the themes for each special interest group. Every month, club staff used pulse checks. Remember that just-in-time polls, surveys, and listening sessions we mentioned before? Pulse checks gave them frequent looks at members' experience. Did young people in the club feel a sense of belonging? Were they engaged in programs? Meanwhile, they kept working their plan. Club staff welcomed youth into their program spaces. They ran interest-based programming requests by the kids. After just 3 months, members were showing up at the club more often and reporting a greater sense of belonging. That's just one example of CQI in action. CQI can help you improve, regardless of where you start, no matter how big or small the changes you want to make. The beauty of CQI is that it's incremental. You don't have to let what you can't do now stop you from doing what you can, especially with this CQI toolkit to guide you through the entire process. We commend you, and we're excited to join you on your quest for quality